My expectations for 2012 in the agriculture industry is looking up. The cattle prices are better than they have been historically in years. The cattle numbers are down, so therefore we see prices are on the increase. Agriculture as a whole, I think, is looking up. We see in crop prices, the grain prices are higher. That in total makes it tougher on the cattle and the beef industry, but the offset is the higher prices at the market for that. My main concern is for the year of 2012 and the future years is producing enough meat, vegetables, crops to be able not to feed just the United States but to feed the world. The exports for beef is up 15% than what it has been from previous years, from 2011 and 2010. So not only is our product staying here in the United States, it's going abroad. Locally, I see the job market is something that is a major concern to people. We need more industry. We need more jobs here locally. We need some way to keep our young people here. The average age of the American farmer now is in their early 60s. And if we can't keep young farmers coming on, we've got a real problem in the agriculture industry. I would like to see some way of maybe a tech school or some way of keeping these kids here.
My expectations for 2012 are filled with a lot of uncertainty. A lot of people are uncertain right now about having a job or finding a way to feed their family. In my day-to-day travels, I've found that that's not just going on in rural Missouri, that's happening across the board. But a new year brings a new beginning and a lot of new hope for people. For many, it's just a fresh beginning, and I expect the upcoming year to be filled with a lot of energy and optimism. With all the uncertainty, a few things are going to stay the same. Football fans are still going to debate the bowl system. Baseball fans are not going to be happy with Albert Pujols. Democrats are going to defend President Obama, while people on the right are going to bitterly oppose him. But the morale's been low for so long, the only way I can see 2012 is up. Rural Missourians don't just put their faith in government, they put it in God. And I really look forward to seeing what the new year has to bring.
The year 2012. First of all, I don't think it's going to end civilization like the Mayan calendar would lead us to believe. But I do think it's going to be a continuation of some real scary financial markets and political unrest and really bad crime rates and unemployment too, and those things all kind of go together, and you know, we didn't get in this mess overnight, so it isn't going to go away that easy either. However, I do think there's a couple of maybe positive spins that's come out of this. I think the American people in general maybe are learning a little bit how to tighten their belt, and that's a good thing. And I also love this back to basics movements that's going on, and not necessarily just rural, but cities too. People are planting their own gardens, and they're making their own clothes, and I make my own soap. A lot of people do, believe it or not. And I think that's really neat because we're learning how to take care of ourselves. They're also buying locally, you know, buy your meat from your farmer instead of going to the store, and I mean that's great for the economy too. Those are the kinds of things I think that are going to eventually get us out of this. I think we need to quit letting politicians and big business tell us how to think, feel, and act. I think we need to make those decisions ourselves. But I do feel that with common sense, American ingenuity, and the grace of God, that we'll get out of this, and maybe by the end of 2012 we'll be looking better than we are at the beginning.
My expectations for 2012 is that those younger people in this community are going to continue to have a real movement go through them. Younger people, especially high schoolers and middle schoolers, have become so much more active in the community now than they have been in a few years, that I think our community needs to have programs and things that can utilize that, so that we don't lose it, because it's a really good thing to see high schoolers, you know, getting into the basketball games more than they have been, cheering louder than ever before, participating in the FCA that we have, which has grown exponentially. And we just need to make sure that we don't lose that. We have a lot of ambition and a lot of courage and go-getterness in the community and our youth, but if we don't have anything for them to put that into, then they'll find other ways to do it, and it could be bad, could be good, they could go somewhere else and do it, or it could be lost altogether. So I think that as long as we find ways to keep our young people, like myself, engaged and involved in the community, then I think Houston will continue to grow and prosper as a town and community.
My expectations for the year 2012. First of all, you think I guess about the main calendar. A little scary. But, and especially with what's going on, you're wondering, I don't know, are the stars really going to align and all the planets? Kind of scary there. What's even scarier is what our government is doing, which is nothing. And I get to pay for that. It upsets me. I vote these people in and all they do is argue and don't take care of anything. And yet, we who they serve get to suffer. That's infuriating to me. In the meantime, middle America is dwindling, and yet they're starving at the same time. They can't even afford to buy food. I mean, I feel fortunate in the fact that I work at the pantry, because I can make some changes where maybe we can reach out to help more of those that actually are providing services in our county. And you know, productive citizens of society, they don't get anything but harder ways to make it happen for their children and for their lives. Don't know how much there is on a positive note. I'm so disgusted with the government. I mean, disgusted. That I'm tired of paying them away for them to do nothing. You know, it's hard for me to think about putting my daughter through college because there's no funds for that. They're taking away grants. It's getting harder and harder for her to go get a job because mommies are taking, she's 17, mommies are having to take those jobs at your fast food restaurants because they have to support their families. And having, that doesn't even pay to have medical insurance, nor do they offer it. I just hope that where I work here at the pantry, I can make a bigger difference to help more people in the community because it keeps continuing to grow. I would say that probably since I've been here, it's doubled, if not tripled, with the amount of clients that we see to help them with any of their needs, be it just heat or water or their rent, because people aren't making it. And I think it's going to get worse. I think there'll be more riots in the streets. I would love to see a revolution in this country. I mean, as it is, America's for sale, and it's just being taken over without a single shot. I mean, you know, where's those people of the 60s? We need a revolution. There's something's got to change. And kind of a doom and gloom prospect, and I have grandkids, so it's heartbreaking.
I think 2012 we're going to have still another snug year. I think we need to kind of watch things and just kind of watch our expenses with things, but I think it's going to get better, but it's going to be a slow process. I think we have a year, maybe 2 years of really snugging up a little bit, but I think businesses will survive with it. They just have to kind of watch things a little. I'd like to see more come to the downtown Houston area, but again, with things being snug, it's hard. You know, it's hard for a business to start up and to survive in this economy. But I think they can. You just have to get the right niche and, you know, just watch the expenses a little bit. I think guys can survive. Some of the bigger businesses are starting to expand. Eventually that'll help us as far as the small guys trickling down. In the little cafe, you know, people, if they've got a job, they're going to go out occasionally and spend some money. So it's kind of what I'm hoping for. And I think the thing that'll help too is if we get more local landlords of the downtown buildings and everything on it. They'll tend to take more pride in the buildings, take care of the buildings more. And you have a better working relationship with your tenants. I think that will help the downtown part of it grow anyway. If we can get, more local people that own the buildings, landlords, basically that take care of things, or landlords, business owners that want to open up their own buildings downtown. I think that will help the downtown Houston anyway, as far as bringing in more commerce downtown and kind of cleaning up downtown a little bit, making the buildings look a little bit nicer and maintaining them a little bit better. Just the quality of downtown will improve quite a bit with that.